Hello friends and welcome to Whisper English. Welcome to this new video. The title of this video is Think Fast, Speak Smart. In this video, we learn how to talk with other people. Sometimes we need to think quickly. Sometimes we want to speak in a good way. We will use simple words to talk about big ideas. It is a very helpful and quiet lesson for you. I am very happy to share this lesson with you today. I hope you feel happy and ready to learn. Let us start our story about speaking well. Chapter 1. Thinking and Speaking. The man sits in a very quiet room. The room is still and the room is peaceful. It is a sunny morning, and the bright yellow light comes through the clear glass window. The man sits on a soft blue chair. In front of him is a large brown table. On the table, there is a piece of white paper. The paper is very clean and very smooth. Next to the paper, there is a long black pen. The man looks at the paper, and the man looks at the pen. He has a big thought in his mind. He wants to learn a new skill. He wants to think fast and he wants to speak smart. Thinking is a very special thing. Sometimes thinking is like a slow, deep river. The water moves slowly and the water is very quiet. Sometimes thinking is like a fast, happy bird. The bird flies high in the blue sky. The man wants his thoughts to be like the bird. He wants them to fly fast and high. Speaking is also a very special thing. When we speak, we share our heart with the world. The man wants to speak smart. He wants to use good words. He wants to use kind words. He wants to use simple words that everyone can understand. He closes his eyes for a moment. He breathes in the cool, fresh air. He breathes out the warm, soft air. His heart is calm and his mind is ready. He feels very peaceful in his quiet room. He knows that learning takes time. He knows that learning is a journey. He is happy to start this journey today. He is happy to be a student of English. The teacher enters the room. The teacher has a very big, warm smile. The teacher's voice is soft, like a gentle breeze in the green trees. The teacher says, "Hello." The man says, "Hello" back. It is a simple word, but it is a good word. The teacher sits on a green chair across from the man. The teacher explains that speaking is like a game of catch. When one person speaks, they throw a ball. When the other person listens, they catch the ball. To speak smart, you must be a good catcher first. You must listen with your ears and you must listen with your heart. The man listens to the teacher. He catches every word like a small, golden treasure. The teacher uses simple English. The teacher uses slow English. This makes the man feel very brave. He is not afraid to make a mistake. Mistakes are just small stones on the path to success. They begin the first lesson. The lesson is about breathing. Breathing is the fuel for our voice. The man learns to take a deep breath. He feels the air fill his chest. When his voice is strong, he feels more confident. Confidence is like a bright lamp in a dark room. It helps us see the way. He feels the air move down to his stomach. When he has a lot of air, his voice is strong. The man practices breathing in and breathing out. He says the word A. He says the word B. He says the word C. His voice sounds clear. His voice sounds steady. He likes the sound of his own voice in the quiet room. It is a beautiful sound. It is the sound of a man learning to speak smart. Next, the teacher talks about looking at eyes. When you speak to a friend, you look at their eyes. Eyes are like windows to the soul. When you look at someone, you show them respect. You show them that you are listening. The man practices looking at the teacher's eyes. It feels a little bit strange at first, but then it feels very good. It feels like a bridge is being built between two people. A bridge of friendship and a bridge of understanding. The man smiles and the teacher smiles back. They are both happy. They are both learning. The sun is still shining and the room is still warm. Everything is good and everything is right. The teacher gives the man a box of colorful pictures. The man takes out a picture of a red apple. The teacher asks, "What do you see?" The man thinks for a second. He thinks fast. He says, "I see a red apple. The apple is round. The apple looks sweet." The teacher claps her hands. "Very good," she says. The man feels a warm glow in his heart. Then he takes out a picture of a green tree. He says, "I see a big green tree. The tree has many leaves. The tree is very tall." The man is speaking smart. He is using simple sentences. He is using sensory words like red, green, round, and tall. He is describing the world around him with clarity and joy. The teacher explains that a short sentence is better than a long sentence. A short sentence is like a small, delicious piece of chocolate. It is easy to enjoy. A long sentence can be like a heavy bag that is hard to carry. The man decides to put down the heavy bags. He wants to use the small, sweet pieces of chocolate. He says, "The sky is blue, the sun is hot. I am happy." These are smart sentences because they are clear. They are easy for the listener to catch. The man feels like he is winning the game of catch. He is throwing the ball very well now. As the morning goes on, the man feels his mind getting faster. He does not have to wait a long time to find the words. The words are starting to come to him like friends. They are coming to help him. He talks about his breakfast. He talks about his walk in the park. He talks about the birds he saw in the morning. Each story is a small gift. Each story is a step forward. The teacher is very proud of him. The man is very proud of himself. He knows that he can do this. He knows that he is a smart speaker. Finally, it is time for the lesson to end. The man stands up from his soft blue chair. He looks at the white paper and the black pen on the brown table. The paper is no longer empty. It has a few notes on it. The man feels different than he did in the beginning. He feels taller. He feels stronger. He says, "Thank you" to the teacher. The teacher says, "You are welcome," and leaves the room. The man stays in the quiet room for a few more minutes. He looks out the window at the green grass and the blue sky. He thinks a fast thought. "I can speak English." Then he speaks a smart sentence. "I will have a wonderful day." He walks out of the room with a peaceful heart and a big smile. He is ready to speak to the world. Chapter 2. The Kind Teacher. The man stays in the soft blue chair. He's waiting for his friend. His friend is the kind teacher. Soon, the heavy wooden door opens with a small, gentle sound. The teacher walks into the bright room. The teacher has a very big, warm smile. The smile is like the yellow sun in the morning. The teacher carries a green book and a small bag of tea. The teacher sits on the green chair across from the man. The room is very quiet and the room is very still. The teacher speaks with a soft voice. The teacher's voice is like a slow song. It is a slow, gentle, and repetitive song. The teacher says, "Hello, my friend. It is a beautiful day to learn. It is a happy day to speak." The man feels very safe. He feels very calm. When we feel safe, our minds can think fast. When we feel calm, our mouths can speak smart. The teacher places the green book on the brown table. The teacher looks at the man with kind eyes. Kind eyes are like a warm blanket on a cold night. They make the man feel brave. The teacher tells a story about a small seed. The seed is in the dark ground. The seed wants to grow into a tall tree, but the seed is afraid of the big world. The seed is afraid of the loud wind and the cold rain. The teacher says, "You are like the small seed, and I am like the gentle rain. I am here to help you grow. I am here to help you reach the blue sky." The man listens to the teacher's story. He repeats the words in his head: seed, ground, rain, tree. The words are simple, and the words are good. He feels the fear leaving his heart. He feels the bravery coming into his soul. The teacher makes a cup of warm tea. The tea smells like lemons and honey. The smell is sweet and the smell is fresh. The teacher gives a cup to the man. A cup is warm in his hands. The teacher says, "To speak smart, we must first be kind to ourselves. We must not be angry when we make a mistake. A mistake is just a small cloud in a big sky. The sun is always there behind the cloud." The man sips the warm tea. He feels the warmth go down to his stomach. He thinks about the clouds, and he thinks about the sun. He says, "I am kind to myself. I am happy to learn." The teacher nods her head. She is very happy to hear his smart words. She says the words again so the man can hear the music of the language. "I am kind. I am happy. I am learning." The teacher explains that a good teacher is like a mirror. A mirror shows you your own beauty. The teacher shows the man that he is already smart. He just needs to find the words. They look at the green book together. The book has many pictures of happy people. The people are talking and the people are laughing. The teacher asks the man to look at a picture of a baker. The baker is making white bread. The teacher asks, "Is the baker happy?" The man looks at the baker's face. He thinks fast. He says, "Yes, the baker is happy. The baker likes the white bread. The bread smells very good." The teacher claps her hands slowly. She says, "You are thinking fast. You are speaking smart. You are doing a very good job." The man feels a big joy in his chest. Joy is like a bright light. He likes the teacher because she does not rush him. She does not speak too fast. She waits for him to finish his thought. Waiting is a very kind thing to do. When the teacher waits, the man feels important. He feels that his words have value. He speaks about the baker again. He says, "The baker wears a white hat. The baker has flour on his hands. The baker is a kind man." Each sentence is short. Each sentence is clear. This is the way of the bookish English. It is slow, it is gentle, and it is repetitive. It helps the brain catch the meaning like a butterfly in a net. The teacher then talks about the smart speaker's secret. The secret is to love the listener. When you love the person you are talking to, you want them to understand. You pick your words with care, like picking red roses from a garden. You do not want to hurt the listener with hard words. You want to help the listener with soft words. The man looks at the teacher. He wants the teacher to understand him. He says, "I like this room, I like the green book, I like the warm tea. I like my teacher." The teacher smiles a very wide smile. She says, "And I like my student. You're a very smart student." The room feels very warm now. It is not just the sun. It is the kindness between two people. The lesson continues for a long time. They talk about many things. They talk about the blue birds in the park. They talk about the green grass in the field. They talk about the red bus on the street. For every topic, the teacher is patient. For every word, the teacher is encouraging. The man practices his think fast skills. He tries to answer the teacher's questions in 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, speak. He says, "The bird is small." 1, 2, 3, speak. He says, "The grass is wet." 1, 2, 3, speak. He says, "The bus is loud." He's getting faster and faster. His mind is like a motor that is starting to run smoothly. He is very proud of his fast mind and his smart mouth. At the end of the hour, the teacher stands up. She puts the green book in her bag. She takes the empty teacups to the small sink. She says, "Our journey for today is finished. You have worked very hard. You're a brave man and a smart speaker." The man stands up too. He feels very light. He feels like he can fly. He says, "Thank you, teacher. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your help." The teacher walks to the door. She turns around and says, "Remember the seed? You are growing every day. You are reaching for the sun." Then she leaves the room with a gentle wave. The man is alone in the quiet room again. But he does not feel lonely. He feels full of words. He feels full of thoughts. He looks at the brown table and the white paper. He takes the black pen and he writes one sentence. The teacher is kind. He reads the sentence aloud. His voice is steady. His voice is clear. He is thinking fast, and he is speaking smart. It is a very successful day. He is ready for the next chapter of his life. He is ready to talk to the world with a kind and smart heart. He feels a deep peace as he walks toward the window to see the sunset. Chapter 3. Breathing for clarity. The man sits in his soft blue chair once more. The room is quiet, but his mind is moving. His mind is like a busy hive of bees. Many thoughts are flying inside his head. He wants to catch the thoughts, but the thoughts are too fast. He feels a little bit tired. He feels a little bit rushed. The kind teacher looks at him and smiles. She says, "Wait, stop for a moment. We must find the breath." The breath is the key to a clear mind. The breath is the bridge to smart speaking. The man looks at the teacher. He wonders how air can help his words. The teacher tells him to put his hand on his stomach. The hand is warm and the hand is steady. Breathe in through your nose, the teacher says softly. The man breathes in. He feels the cool air enter his nose. The air travels down his throat. The air fills his lungs like a balloon. His stomach moves out against his warm hand. The teacher says, "Now, breathe out through your mouth." The man breathes out. The air is warm now. The air leaves his body slowly. His stomach moves back in. He does this again. He breathes in the fresh air. He breathes out the old air. He does this 3 times. 1, 2, 3, in and out. In and out. In and out. The busy bees in his head begin to sleep. The room feels even more peaceful now. The teacher explains that breathing is like cleaning a window. When the window is dirty, you cannot see the beautiful garden outside. When you breathe deeply, you wipe the window of your mind. Now the man can see his thoughts clearly. The thoughts are not messy anymore. The thoughts are standing in a straight line. They are waiting for him to speak. The teacher says, "When you have a big breath, you have power." A smart speaker needs power to send the words to the listener. The man understands. He takes a big breath. He feels strong. He feels like a tall mountain. A mountain is steady and a mountain is silent. They practice speaking with the breath. The teacher asks a question. "What color is the sky today?" The man does not speak immediately. First, he breathes in the cool air. He feels the power in his chest. Then he speaks as he breathes out. He says, "The sky is a very bright blue." The words sound different. The words sound deep. The words sound like a bell ringing in a quiet valley. The man likes this sound. He tries again. The teacher asks, "What do you like to eat?" The man breathes in. He finds his thought. He breathes out and says, "I like to eat sweet red apples." The sentence is perfect. The sentence is smart. The teacher tells a story about a fast runner. The runner is very fast, but the runner forgets to breathe. Soon the runner is very tired. The runner has to stop. But the walker breathes with every step. The walker can walk for a long time. The walker sees the flowers and the walker sees the trees. The teacher says, "Do not be a tired runner with your words. Be a peaceful walker. Breathe with every sentence." Enjoy the journey of the conversation. The man thinks about the walker. He wants to be a walker. He wants to speak for a long time without getting tired. He wants to enjoy the beautiful English words. They play a new game. It is the breathing and speaking game. The teacher says a short word. The man must take a breath and then say the word 3 times. The teacher says, "Light." The man breathes in. He breathes out and says, "Light, light." The teacher says, "Peace." The man breathes in. He breathes out and says, "Peace, peace, peace." The teacher says, "Clarity." The man breathes in. He breathes out and says, "Clarity, clarity, clarity." The man feels the rhythm of the language. English has a rhythm like a heartbeat. Loob dub, in and out. Speak and breathe. It is a very natural thing to do. The teacher explains that when we are nervous, we breathe fast and shallow. This makes the brain feel afraid. But when we breathe slow and deep, the brain feels safe. When the brain feels safe, it can think very fast. The man realizes this is a secret. To think fast, he must breathe slow. It sounds strange, but it works. He practices thinking about a difficult topic. He thinks about the stock market. Usually this makes him feel rushed, but he takes a deep breath. He feels the air in his stomach. He thinks, the market goes up and the market goes down. He speaks it clearly. He is not afraid. He is a smart speaker because he is a calm breather. The man looks at his black pen on the table. He picks it up. He feels the weight of the pen. He breathes in. He says, "This pen is a tool for writing." He breathes out. He feels very proud. He is using his breath to control his voice. He is using his breath to clear his mind. He feels like he has found a hidden treasure. The treasure was always inside him. It was his own breath. He just needed the kind teacher to show him how to use it. The room is filled with the sound of gentle breathing. It is the sound of learning. It is the sound of clarity. The teacher stands up. The lesson about breathing is finished. She says, keep your breath with you. When you walk in the street, breathe. When you talk to a friend, breathe. Your breath is your best friend. The man stands up too. He feels very tall. He feels very steady. He says, thank you, teacher. I feel very clear today. The teacher smiles and walks out the door. The man stays and takes one more deep breath. He looks at the white paper. He's ready for the next chapter. He is ready to look at eyes and speak from his heart. He feels very happy. Chapter 4. Looking at eyes. The man sits in the quiet room. He feels the air in his stomach from the breathing lesson. He feels very steady. The door opens and the kind teacher walks in. She sits on the green chair. She does not look at the brown table. She does not look at the white paper. She looks at the man. She looks directly into his eyes. The man feels a little bit shy. He looks down at his black pen. He looks at his brown shoes. The teacher speaks with a very gentle voice. She says, look at me, my friend. To speak smart, we must look at the eyes. The eyes are like two bright lamps. They show us the way to a person's heart. The man takes a deep breath. He lifts his head slowly. He looks at the teacher's eyes. Her eyes are warm and brown. They are peaceful eyes. The teacher says, when you look at eyes, you say many things without a word. You say, I am here. You say, I'm listening. You say, I'm brave. The man brave. The man listens to the teacher. He keeps his eyes on her eyes. It feels like a thin golden thread is connecting them. The thread is strong and the thread is quiet. When he looks at her, he forgets to be afraid. He feels like a tall tree in a quiet forest. The tree does not hide. The tree stands tall and looks at the sun. The teacher explains that speaking is not just about the mouth. Speaking is about the whole face. When we look at a friend's eyes, we see their feelings. We see if they are happy or if they are sad or if they are thinking. The teacher says, if you look at the floor, your words fall to the floor. If you look at the ceiling, your words fly away to the sky. But if you look at my eyes, your words come to my heart. The man understands this. He wants his words to go to the heart. He does not want his words to fall on the cold floor. He takes another breath. He says, I'm looking at your eyes. His voice sounds very brave. They play a new game. It is the eye contact game. The teacher tells a small story about a cat. She looks at the man's left eye, then she looks at his right eye. She smiles. Then the man tells a story. He looks at the teacher's eyes. He says, the cat is black. The cat has white paws. The cat sleeps on a soft rug. While he speaks, he does not look away. He stays focused. He feels like a captain on a big ship. The captain looks at the stars to find the way. The man looks at the eyes to find his words. He is thinking fast, and he is speaking smart. The teacher tells a story about a king. The king is very rich, but the king is very lonely. The king always looks at his gold and his silver. He never looks at the eyes of his people. One day, a small child looks at the king's eyes and says, hello. The king is surprised. He looks at the child's eyes. For the first time, the king feels happy. He realizes that eyes are more valuable than gold. The teacher says, your eyes are your treasure. Use them when you speak. Show the world your kindness. Show the world your smart mind. The man feels like a king now. He feels rich because he can connect with others. Sometimes looking at eyes is hard. The man tells the teacher, "Sometimes I feel nervous. Sometimes I want to look away." The teacher nods her head. She says, "That is okay. If you feel nervous, look at the space between the eyes. It is a secret spot." The other person thinks you are looking at their eyes, but you feel safe. The man tries this. He looks at the small spot between the teacher's eyebrows. He feels very calm. He says, "This is a good secret. I feel very smart." The teacher laughs a happy laugh. She says, "Yes, it is a very smart trick for a fast thinker." They practice a conversation. The teacher asks, "What do you see outside the window?" The man looks at the teacher's eyes first. He breathes. Then he says, "I see the green grass. I see a small bird. The bird is singing a song." He keeps his eyes steady. He feels a connection. It is like a conversation between two souls. The words are just the bridge. The eyes are the light on the bridge. The man feels proud of his steady gaze. He feels like a man who knows what he wants to say. He is not a shy student anymore. He is a smart speaker. The teacher says that eye contact is like a gift. When you look at someone, you give them your time. You give them your focus. Focus is a very rare and beautiful thing. In a busy world, people look at their phones. People look at their watches. But a smart speaker looks at the person. A smart speaker makes the listener feel like the only person in the world. The man wants to give this gift to everyone. He wants to be a person who truly sees others. He looks at the black pen on the table, then he looks back at the teacher. He chooses the person over the object. The lesson is almost over. The teacher stands up. She looks at the man's eyes one last time. She says, "You have a brave look today. You are speaking with your eyes and your mouth. This is the way to speak smart." The man stands up too. He does not look at his shoes. He looks at the teacher and says, "Thank you, teacher. I see you and I hear you." The teacher smiles and leaves the room. The man stays in the quiet room. He looks at the white paper. He feels very ready for the next chapter. He is a fast thinker, a deep breather, and a brave looker. He feels a great peace in his heart as he looks at the setting sun. Chapter 5. Small and sweet sentences. The man sits in his soft blue chair. He feels the fresh air in his stomach. He feels the brave light in his eyes. The room is very still, and the room is very peaceful. The kind teacher walks in and carries a small wooden box. She places the box on the brown table. She opens the box slowly. Inside the box, there are many small red cherries. The cherries are round and the cherries are shiny. The teacher takes one cherry and gives it to the man. She says, "Eat this small fruit. It is sweet and it is easy to eat." A small sentence is like a small cherry. It is sweet for the ear and it is easy for the mind. The man eats the small red cherry. It tastes very good. He understands the teacher's lesson. Sometimes we want to say big things. We want to use long words. We want to make very long sentences. But a long sentence is like a very large loaf of bread. It is too big for the mouth. It is hard to chew and it is hard to swallow. The listener feels tired when the sentence is too long. The teacher says, "To speak smart, we must cut the big bread into small pieces. We must make our words small and sweet. We must give the listener one small cherry at a time." The man looks at the white paper. He wants to write small sentences. The teacher tells a story about a little bird. The little bird wants to build a nest in a tall green tree. The bird does not carry a big branch. A big branch is too heavy for a small bird. Instead, the bird carries one small twig. Then the bird carries one small leaf. Then the bird carries one small piece of dry grass. One by one, the small pieces make a beautiful home. The teacher says, "Your speech is like the bird's nest. Do not carry heavy branches. Carry small twigs. One small sentence is one small twig. Together they make a strong story." The man smiles. He feels light like the little bird. They practice the cherry sentence game. The teacher tells a long, messy story. She says, "Yesterday I went to the market and I saw a man who was selling very large watermelons that were green and heavy. So I bought one and carried it home, but it was very difficult because the sun was very hot." The man listens. He feels a little bit confused. The sentence is like a heavy bag of stones. The teacher says, "Now make it small and sweet. Give me the cherries." The man takes a breath. He looks at the teacher's eyes. He says, "I went to the market. I saw a big watermelon. I bought the fruit. It was very heavy. The sun was hot." The teacher claps her hands. "Very good." She says, "Those are 5 sweet cherries. I can taste every one. I can understand every word." The man feels very smart. He realizes that short sentences have more power. When a sentence is short, the meaning is clear. When the meaning is clear, the listener is happy. A happy listener is a friend. The man looks at his black pen. He says, "This is my pen. It is black. It writes well." He stops after every sentence. He lets the words rest in the air. He lets the words reach the teacher's heart. He is thinking fast and he is speaking smart. The teacher explains that a period is a very important mark. A period is a small dot at the end of a sentence. A period is like a stop sign on a quiet road. It tells the speaker to rest. It tells the listener to think. The teacher says, "Love the period. Use the period. When you see the dot, take a small breath. Let the sweetness of your words stay in the room." The man looks at the white paper. He sees the small black dots. He thinks they look like small seeds. Every seed can grow into a big idea, but we must plant them one by one. We must not throw all the seeds at once. They talk about the 3-word rule. The teacher says, "Sometimes you only need 3 words to be smart." She gives examples. "I love you. God is good. Birds can fly. Sun is bright." The man tries to make 3-word sentences. He looks at the brown table. He says, "Table is brown." He looks at the green chair. He says, "Chair is green." He looks at the kind teacher. He says, "Teacher is kind." He feels like a master of the language. He does not need a big dictionary. He only needs his heart and his breath and his small, sweet sentences. He's a fast thinker because he picks simple paths. The teacher says that big words are often like masks. People use big words to hide their feelings. But small words are like clear glass. They show the truth. If you are sad, say, "I'm sad." If you are happy, say, "I am happy." If you are hungry, say, "I am hungry." These are smart words because they are true. The man thinks about his work. He thinks about the shiny surface defects on the plastic housing. He says, "The surface is shiny. This is a defect. We must fix it." The teacher nods. That is very professional. That is very smart. Everyone can understand the problem now. The lesson is finished for the day. The teacher puts the remaining cherries back in the wooden box. She gives one more cherry to the man. She says, "Go home and speak in small pieces. Be like the little bird. Build your nest with small twigs." The man stands up. He feels very confident. He does not feel the need to impress people with long, difficult stories. He is happy to be simple. He says, "Thank you, I am happy. See you tomorrow." The teacher smiles and walks away. The man stays in the quiet room for a moment. He feels the sweetness of the day in his mouth. He looks out the window. The sun is setting behind the trees. The sky is orange and the sky is pink. He says to himself, "The sky is beautiful. The day is done. I am a smart speaker." He walks out of the room with a very light step. He is ready for the next chapter. He is ready to find the power of a pause. He feels a deep peace in his soul as he walks into the cool evening air. Chapter 6. The Power of a Pause. The man sits in his soft blue chair. The room is very quiet and the room is very still. He feels the sweet taste of the small cherries from the last lesson in his mind. He feels the fresh air in his stomach and he feels the brave light in his eyes. He is ready to learn a new secret. The kind teacher walks into the room. She does not carry a book today. She does not carry a box of fruit. She carries a small silver bell. She places the silver bell on the brown table. The bell is shiny and the bell is cold. The teacher looks at the man with her kind brown eyes. She does not speak for a long time. She just sits in the green chair and looks at the man. The silence is very long. The silence is very deep. At first, the man feels a little bit nervous. He wants to say something. He wants to fill the quiet room with a word. He wants to ask, "Why are we silent?" But he remembers to breathe. He breathes in the cool air, and he breathes out the warm air. He waits. He looks at the teacher, and the teacher looks at him. After 1 minute, the teacher picks up the silver bell. She rings the bell once. Ding, the sound is very clear. The sound travels across the room like a small bird. Then the sound stops. The room is quiet again. The teacher says, "The sound of the bell is beautiful, but the silence after the bell is also beautiful." This is the power of a pause. The teacher explains that a pause is a quiet moment between two words. A pause is like a bridge between two islands. Without the bridge, you cannot go from one island to the other. To speak smart, you must not run with your words. If you speak too fast, your words are like a crowd of people pushing through a small door. Everyone is hurt and no one can get out. But if you use a pause, you open the door wide. You let one word go out, then you wait. Then you let the next word go out. The teacher says, a pause gives the listener time to catch your word. A pause gives your mind time to think of the next smart thought. The teacher tells a story about a great stone mountain. The mountain does not move. The mountain does not shout. The mountain is silent for many years. Because the mountain is silent, it is very strong. People look at the mountain and they feel peace. The teacher says, when you speak, be like the mountain. Speak a sentence and then be silent like the mountain. Let your words sit in the air. Let the listener feel the weight of your thoughts. The man thinks about the mountain. He wants his words to be strong like the mountain. He does not want his words to be like the blowing wind that disappears quickly. He wants his words to stay. They practice the golden silence game. The teacher asks question, what did you do this morning? The man wants to answer fast. He wants to say, I woke up and I had coffee and I walked to this room. But the teacher puts her finger to her lips. She says, wait, breathe, count to 3 in your head. Then speak, the man breathes in. He counts 1, 2, 3. Then he speaks. I woke up early. He stops. 1, 2, 3. I drank warm coffee. He stops. 1, 2, 3. I walked in the green park. He stops. The man is surprised. His stories sound very important now. Each sentence feels like a special gift because of the pause. The teacher tells another story. This story is about a clock. The clock goes tick, 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 tick. It never stops. It is always busy. People do not listen to the clock because the sound is always the same. But imagine if the clock goes tick and then stops for a long time. Everyone would look at the clock. Everyone would listen for the next sound. The teacher says, the pause makes people listen. When you are silent, people want to hear what you say next. Silence is a magnet. It pulls the listener toward you. The man looks at the silver bell. He understands that the silence is just as loud as the words. They talk about thinking pauses. Sometimes we do not know the right word. Many people say or when they are thinking. These are messy sounds. They are like trash on a clean floor. The teacher says, when you do not know a word, do not make a messy sound. Just be silent. A silent pause is a smart pause. It shows that you are a fast thinker who is looking for a perfect word. It shows that you are a master of your mouth. The man tries this. He thinks about a difficult word. He thinks about polyurethane. He stops. He is silent for 2 seconds. Then he says the word clearly. It sounds much better than saying, polyurethane. He feels very professional. The teacher explains that there are 3 types of pauses. The first is a comma pause. This is a very short pause, like a quick breath. It separates small ideas. The second is a period pause. This is a medium pause. It tells the listener that the sentence is finished. The third is the big idea pause. This is a long pause. You use it after you say something very important. You let the big idea sink into the listener's heart. Like a stone sinking into a deep pool of water. The man practices all 3. He feels like a musician playing a beautiful song. The silence is the space between the notes. Without the space, there is no music. The teacher says that pausing is a sign of bravery. Shy people speak very fast because they want to finish and hide. But a smart speaker is not afraid of the silence. A smart speaker owns the silence. The man stands up. He looks at the teacher's eyes. He says, I am a smart speaker. He pauses for 5 seconds. He stays very still. He looks very brave. Then he says, I am learning every day. The teacher smiles a very wide smile. She says, that was perfect. That was powerful. You are using the secret of the masters. The man feels a warm glow in his chest. He is not just learning English. He is learning how to be a leader. The lesson is finished. The teacher picks up the silver bell and puts it in her bag. She says, go out into the world today. Do not be afraid of the quiet moments. Use the pause when you talk to your friends. Use the pause when you talk to your boss. Let the world wait for your smart words. The man stands up and bows his head. He says, thank you, teacher. He pauses. I will remember. The teacher leaves the room with a soft step. The man stays in the quiet room for a few more minutes. He looks at the white paper on the brown table. He does not write anything. He just enjoys the silence. He walks to the window. He looks at the birds in the sky. He looks at the trees in the wind. He realizes that nature is full of pauses. The winter is a pause before the spring. The night is a pause before the day. He feels very connected to the world. He says to himself, I think fast, I speak smart. I use the pause. He walks out of the room with a slow and steady step. He's ready for the next chapter. He is ready to play the color picture game. He feels a deep peace in his soul as he walks into the bright afternoon sun. He is a man of words and he is a man of silence. Chapter 7. The color picture game. The room is very bright today. The golden sun shines on the brown table and the white paper. The kind teacher walks into the room. She is carrying a large wooden box. The box is filled with many colorful pictures. The teacher places the box on the table. She says, to think fast and speak smart, we must train the brain. We must look at the world and find the words immediately. We will play a game today. We will play the color picture game. The man looks at the wooden box. He feels a little bit of excitement. He feels like a child again. The teacher takes out the first picture. It is a picture of a large red barn. The barn is standing in a field of yellow wheat. The sky in the picture is a deep, dark blue. The teacher says, look at this picture. Do not think too long. Tell me what you see. Use your colors. Use your senses. Speak your small and sweet sentences. And do not forget to pause. The man looks at the red barn. He breathes in the cool air of the room. He looks at the teacher's eyes. He begins to speak. I see a big red barn. He pauses. 1, 2, 3. The barn is very old and the barn is very strong. He pauses. The wheat is yellow like the sun. He pauses. The sky is a dark blue. The teacher smiles. She says, that is very good. You are connecting the colors to the objects. Colors are the adjectives of the world. They make your speech beautiful. They make your speech smart. When you say red, the listener sees the red. When you say yellow, the listener feels the heat of the sun. Colors are a shortcut to the heart. The teacher takes out another picture. This picture is of a small green forest. In the middle of the forest, there is a clear blue stream. The water is moving over gray stones. There are white flowers growing near the water. The teacher says, now think faster. Tell me about this place. The man looks at the green leaves. He looks at the blue water. He says, the trees are green and the leaves are soft. He pauses. The water is a clear blue. He pauses. The stones are gray and the stones are hard. He pauses. The flowers are white like the clouds. The man feels his mind moving like the stream. The words are flowing. He is not searching for them. They are just there. The teacher explains that colors help us categorize the world. If we know the color, we know half of the story. She tells a story about a rainbow. The rainbow has 7 colors. Each color has a different feeling. Red is for love and fire. Blue is for peace and water. Green is for life and grass. Yellow is for joy and light. The teacher says, when you speak, paint a picture with your words. Use the colors to help your listener see what you see. A smart speaker is an artist. The words are the paint, and the listener's mind is the canvas. The man thinks about his work at the factory. He thinks about the black plastic housing. He thinks about the shiny surface defect. He realizes that shiny and black are colors and textures that tell a story. They play the game again, but this time it is faster. The teacher shows a picture of an orange cat sitting on a purple rug. The man says, "Orange cat, purple rug, happy cat, soft rug." He is thinking very fast now. He is not afraid of the colors. He is using them like tools. The teacher shows a picture of a brown dog with a silver collar. The man says, "Brown dog, silver collar, strong dog." "Bright collar." The teacher claps her hands. "Yes, fast and smart. You are picking the most important details. You are not wasting words. You are giving the listener the best pieces of the story." The teacher then talks about the hidden colors. Sometimes a color is not a color. Sometimes a color is a feeling. She asks, "What color is a happy day?" The man thinks. He breathes. He says, "A happy day is a yellow day." The teacher asks, "What color is a sad song?" The man says, "A sad song is a blue song." The teacher asks, "What color is a brave thought?" The man says, "A brave thought is a red thought." The teacher is very pleased. She says, "You are learning to use symbols." Using symbols is the highest form of speaking smart. It shows that you understand the deep meaning of things. The man looks at the wooden box. It is almost empty now. There is one last picture. It is a picture of a person's face. The person is an old man with white hair and blue eyes. He has a kind smile. The man looks at the picture for a long time. He feels a connection to the old man. He says, "I see an old man." His hair is white like the snow. He pauses. His eyes are blue like the sea. He pauses. His skin is brown like the earth. He pauses. His heart is gold like a treasure. The room is very silent. The teacher does not speak. She just looks at the man. The man's words are very beautiful. They are smart and they are kind. The teacher says, "You have finished the color picture game. You are no longer just a speaker. You are a storyteller. You can see the world in all its colors, and you can share those colors with others. Remember this when you talk to people. Do not just say car, say the shiny red car. Do not just say food, say the warm brown bread. Make the world come alive for your listener." The man stands up. He feels very full. He feels like he has eaten a big, colorful meal. He feels satisfied and he feels wise. The lesson is finished. The teacher packs the pictures back into the wooden box. She says, "Go outside now. Look at the world. Tell me 3 colors you see before you reach your home." The man walks to the door. He turns around and says, "I see the blue sky. I see the green trees. I see your kind brown eyes." The teacher smiles and nods. The man walks out into the world. He is a fast thinker. He is a deep breather. He walks down the street. He sees a yellow bus. He sees a gray sidewalk. He sees a pink flower. He is a brave looker. He is a sweet speaker. He is a silent ponder. And now he is a colorful artist of words. He's practicing his game. He is speaking to himself in a soft voice. He feels a deep peace in his soul. The world is not a scary place anymore. The world is a box of beautiful pictures. He is ready for the next chapter. He is ready to use kind words to help the world. He feels the warmth of the sun on his face and he is happy. Chapter 8. Using kind words. The kind teacher walks into the room. Today she is carrying a small glass jar. Inside the glass jar there is clear water and many small white pearls. The pearls are round and the pearls are smooth. The teacher places the jar on the brown table. She says, "To think fast and speak smart, we must choose our words with love. A kind word is like a white pearl. It is beautiful to look at, and it is a treasure to keep." Today, we will learn about using kind words. The man looks at the white pearls in the clear water. He feels a quiet peace in his heart. The teacher explains that words have a weight. Some words are heavy and dark like black stones. They can hurt a person's heart. They can make a person feel small and sad. But some words are light and bright like white pearls. They can help a person's heart. They can make a person feel tall and happy. The teacher says, "A smart speaker does not use black stones. A smart speaker only uses white pearls. When you speak, you give a gift. Always give a beautiful gift." The man thinks about his words. He wants to be a man of pearls, not a man of stones. The teacher tells a story about a dry, brown garden. The flowers in the garden are thirsty. The grass in the garden is yellow. The sun is very hot and the ground is very hard. A traveler walks by the garden and says, "This is a very ugly place. The plants are dying. These are black stone words. The garden stays dry and the garden stays brown." Then a little girl walks by the garden. She says, "This garden is very brave. It is waiting for the rain. It will be beautiful again soon." These are white pearl words. The girl brings a small bucket of water. She pours the water on the brown ground. Soon the green leaves come back. Soon the red flowers open. The teacher says, "Kind words are like water for the soul. They make everything grow." The man understands. He looks at the teacher's eyes. He says, "I want to speak like the little girl." The teacher smiles. She says, "We will practice. We will change black stones into white pearls." They play the pearl word game. The teacher says a stone sentence. She says, "You are very slow at learning English." The man feels a little bit sad when he hears this. Then the teacher says, "Now change it. Make it a pearl." The man breathes in. He thinks fast. He says, "You are taking your time to learn well. You are a steady student." The teacher claps her hands. "Yes, that is a beautiful pearl. It is the same truth, but it is a kind truth." A smart speaker always looks for the kind truth. They practice again. The teacher says, "This room is too small and too old." The man thinks. He looks at the soft blue chair and the brown table. He says, "This room is very cozy and very peaceful. It is a good place to think." The teacher says, "Very good. You are seeing the beauty." They talk about many things. They talk about a person who makes a mistake. Instead of saying, "You are wrong," the man learns to say, "I see it a different way." Instead of saying, "This is bad," he learns to say, "We can make this better." Every time he uses a kind word, he feels more powerful. He feels like he is building a bridge of light between himself and the world. The teacher explains that "please" and "thank you" are the most important pearls. She says, "These words are small, but they are very strong. They open doors that are locked. They make strangers into friends." A smart speaker uses these words many times every day. The man thinks about his internship at the factory. He thinks about the workers who fix the plastic housing. He says, I will say thank you for your hard work to my friends at the factory. The teacher nods. That is very smart. When you are kind to your team, the team works better. The quality of the work becomes high because the hearts of the people are happy. The man feels a big joy. He is learning that being smart and being kind are the same thing. The teacher tells another story. This story is about an echo in a big cave. If you shout a mean word into the cave shouts the mean word back to you. If you sing a sweet song into the cave sings the sweet song back to you. The teacher says, the world is like a big cave. What you give, you will receive. If you speak kind words, people will speak kind words to you. If you are a smart and kind speaker, you will live in a smart and kind world. The man closes his eyes. He imagines himself speaking pearls to everyone he meets. He imagines the pearls coming back to him. He feels very safe and very loved. They talk about the word help. The teacher says, the smartest thing a person can say is, how can I help you? This sentence is a big white pearl. It shows that you are thinking of others. It shows that you are a leader. The man practices saying it. How can I help you, teacher? The teacher smiles and says, you are helping me by being a wonderful student. You are helping me by listening with your heart. The man feels his heart growing bigger. He is not just learning a language. He is learning how to be a good man. He is learning that his voice is a tool for goodness. The lesson is almost finished. The teacher takes one white pearl out of the glass jar. She places it in the man's hand. The pearl is small and cool. She says, keep this in your pocket. When you feel angry, touch the pearl. Remember to speak with love. Remember to choose the kind truth. The man puts the pearl in his pocket. He feels the weight of the little treasure. He stands up. He looks at the teacher and says, thank you for this lesson. You're a very kind teacher. The teacher says, you are welcome, my smart friend. She leaves the room with a gentle smile. The man stays in the quiet room. He looks at the brown table. He looks at the black pen. He thinks about the storyteller prompt. He thinks about the many people who listen to his voice on his YouTube channel. He wants to give them many white pearls. He wants to use his bookish English to make them feel peaceful and happy. He walks to the window. The sun is high in the sky. He says to himself, the world is full of beauty. I will speak about the beauty. I will use kind words. I will be a smart speaker. He feels a deep peace in his soul. He's ready for the next chapter. He is ready to speak like flowers. He walks out of the room with a very gentle and happy heart. Chapter 9. Speaking like flowers. The man sits in his soft blue chair. The room is very quiet and the room is very still. He feels the small white pearl in his pocket. It is a cool and smooth treasure. He remembers to breathe in the fresh air. And he remembers to breathe out the old air. He feels the brave light in his eyes. The kind teacher walks into the room. Today, she is carrying a tall glass vase. Inside the glass vase, there are many beautiful flowers. There are red roses, yellow daisies, white lillet, and blue violets. The flowers smell very sweet, and the flowers look very fresh. The teacher places the vase on the brown table. She says, to think fast and speak smart, we must make our words like flowers. A flower is a gift for the eyes. A smart word is a gift for the ears. Today we will learn about speaking like flowers. The man looks at the red roses. He looks at the yellow daisies. He feels a big joy in his heart. The teacher explains that a garden is a peaceful place because every flower has a purpose. The red rose is for love, the white lily is for peace, the blue violet is for kindness. She says, when you speak, do not just make a sound. Plant a garden in the mind of the listener. Pick your words like you pick flowers from a green field. Choose the best colors. Choose the best shapes. Make your sentences beautiful to hear. The man thinks about his words. He wants his conversation to be a beautiful garden. He does not want his conversation to be a dry desert with no life. The teacher tells a story about a woman who lived in a gray stone house. The house was very cold and the house was very dark. The woman never spoke to her neighbors. When she did speak, her words were like sharp thorns. She said, "Go away." She said, "I am busy." She said, "Leave me alone." The neighbors felt sad, and they stayed away from the gray house. One day, a young boy brought a basket of flowers to her door. He did not say much. He just said, "These are for you." "They are beautiful." The woman looked at the flowers. She smelled the sweet scent. For the first time, she smiled. The next day, she spoke to the boy. She said, "Thank you for the flowers. They make my house bright." Her words were no longer thorns. Her words were now like the petals of a flower. The teacher says, "Thorns hurt, but flowers heal." A smart speaker chooses to heal with their voice. The man understands this lesson. He looks at the white lilac in the vase. He says, "I want to be a speaker of flowers." The teacher smiles her warm sun smile. She says, "We will practice. We will turn a thorny sentence into a flower sentence." They play the flower garden game. The teacher says a thorny sentence. She says, "This work is very difficult and I am tired of doing it." The man feels the sharp thorn in that sentence. He breathes in. He thinks fast. He thinks of the yellow daisies. He says, "This work is a big challenge. I am learning to be stronger every day." The teacher claps her hands. Yes, that is a yellow daisy of a sentence. It is bright and it is full of hope. It makes the listener feel happy. They practice again. The teacher says a thorny sentence about the weather. "The rain is terrible and I hate getting wet." The man looks at the blue violets. He thinks fast. He says, "The rain is a gift for the trees. The water makes the world clean and green." The teacher says, "That is a blue violet. It is a peaceful and kind thought." You are becoming a master gardener of the English language. The man feels very proud. He realizes that he can change the world around him just by changing his words. He can turn a dark day into a bright day. He can turn a sad friend into a happy friend. He is a fast thinker because he is always looking for the most beautiful flower to share. The teacher explains that speaking like flowers means being gentle. A flower does not push itself into the world. A flower opens slowly. A flower waits for the sun. The teacher says, "Do not shout your words. Do not force your ideas. Let your words open slowly like a red rose in the morning. Use a soft voice. Use a slow speed." This is the way of the smart speaker. The man thinks about his YouTube channel, Whisper English. He thinks about the people who listen to his stories. He wants his stories to be like a soft bed of flowers for their minds. He wants them to feel safe and he wants them to feel calm. He practices speaking very softly. The sun is warm, the grass is green. The world is good. The words feel like silk in his mouth. The teacher tells another story. This story is about a king who wanted to find the most powerful weapon in the world. He looked at swords, and he looked at fire, and he looked at big stones. But then he saw a poet. The poet spoke a poem about a mother's love. The poem was so beautiful that the soldiers stopped fighting. They dropped their swords. They went home to their families. The king realized that a beautiful word is more powerful than a sharp sword. The teacher says, "Your voice is your power. Use it to bring peace. Use it to bring beauty. Speak like flowers, and the world will listen to you with a quiet heart." The man closes his eyes. He imagines his words flying out of his mouth like colorful petals. They land on the people he meets. They make the people smile. They talk about the vase of vocabulary. The teacher says, "Your mind is the vase. You must fill it with many different words so you can choose the right flower for every moment." They learn new words for happy. They learn joyful, cheerful, and content. They learn new words for big. They learn grand, vast, and great. The man feels his vase getting full. He has many flowers to choose from now. He is not a poor man with only one word. He is a rich man with a whole garden. He says, "I am content in this quiet room." The journey of learning is grand. The teacher is very pleased. She says, "You are using your flowers very well. You are a smart and beautiful speaker. The lesson is finished for the day." The teacher takes one red rose from the vase. She gives the rose to the man. The rose is soft and the rose is red. She says, "Take this flower with you. Remember that your words are a gift. Every time you speak, you are giving a flower to the listener. Make sure it is a flower you are proud to give." The man takes the rose. He feels the soft petals with his fingers. He stands up. He looks at the teacher and says, "Thank you, teacher. My heart is a garden today." The teacher says, "You are welcome, my smart gardener." She leaves the room with a gentle step. The man stays in the quiet room. He looks at the brown table and the white paper. He looks at the tall glass vase with the remaining flowers. He feels a deep peace in his soul. He is ready for the final chapter. He is ready to feel the proud new feeling of success. He walks to the window and looks at the sunset. The sky is pink and orange like a giant flower in the sky. He says to himself, "I think fast, I speak smart. I speak like flowers." He walks out of the room with a very light and happy step. He is ready to share his garden with the whole world. Chapter 10. A proud new feeling. The man sits in his soft blue chair for the last time in this story. The room is very quiet and the room is very still. He feels the small white pearl in his pocket. He feels the soft red rose in his hand. He feels the fresh air moving deep in his stomach. The sun is very high in the sky and the light is a bright, happy gold. The kind teacher walks into the room. She does not carry a box, a bell, or a vase today. She carries a small golden mirror. She places the mirror on the brown table. She says, "To think fast and speak smart, we must see our own light. We must feel the truth of our own progress. Today we will learn about a proud new feeling." The man looks at the golden mirror. He sees his own face in the glass. He sees his brave eyes. He sees his steady mouth. He looks different than he did in the first chapter. In the first chapter, he was a shy man with a quiet voice. Now he is a man of words. He is a man of silence. He is a man of colors and a man of flowers. The teacher says, "Look at the man in the mirror. That man is a smart speaker. That man is a fast thinker. That man has worked very hard. Do you feel the pride in your heart?" The man looks at his reflection. He breathes in, he breathes out. He says, "Yes, I feel a proud new feeling. It is a warm feeling like a small fire on a cold night." The teacher explains that pride is not about being better than others. Pride is about being better than you were yesterday. She tells a story about a little bird that wanted to fly to the top of a very high mountain. The other bird said, "You are too small. Your wings are too weak." The little bird was afraid. But every day, the little bird flew a little bit higher. One day, the little bird flew to a tall tree. The next day, the little bird flew to a big hill. After many days, the little bird reached the top of the mountain. The little bird looked down at the green valley and felt a proud new feeling. The bird did not shout at the other birds. The bird just felt happy because it did a hard thing. The teacher says, "You are like that bird. You have climbed the mountain of English. You are standing at the top now." The man understands this lesson. He thinks about the storyteller prompt. He thinks about the 40 stories he wants to tell his friends on YouTube. He thinks about his work at the factory and the shining surface defect he helped to fix. He realizes that every small step was a part of the big mountain. He says, "I am proud because I did not give up. I am proud because I used my breath and my eyes. I am proud because I chose kind words and sweet sentences." The teacher claps her hands. Yes, that is the smart truth. When you are proud of yourself, your voice becomes a leader. People listen to a man who respects his own journey. They play the celebration game. The teacher asks, "What is the best thing you learned in this room?" The man thinks fast. He uses the power of a pause. 1, 2, 3, he says, "The best thing is the peace. When I speak slowly and gently, I feel peace. When I give a word like a flower, I feel peace. The peace makes me smart." The teacher nods her head. She says, "Peace is the foundation of all smart speaking. A busy mind is a messy mind. A peaceful mind is a clear mind. You have found the secret treasure of the heart." The man feels the golden mirror is reflecting not just his face, but his soul. He feels very bright inside. The teacher tells another story. This story is about a famous musician who played the piano. One day, a student asked, "How do you play so perfectly?" The musician said, "I do not play the notes. Anyone can play the notes. I play the feeling between the notes. I play the love for the music." The teacher says, "You are like the musician now. You are not just saying English words. You are playing the feeling of the language. You are speaking from your heart. This is why you are a smart speaker. This is why your friends like to listen to your voice." The man closes his eyes. He hears the music of his own voice. He hears the rhythm of the bookish English. It is a beautiful song. They talk about the future. The teacher says, "The room is quiet now, but the world is loud. When you leave this room, the world will try to make you go fast. The world will try to make you use hard words. But you must remember the proud new feeling. You must carry the soft blue chair in your mind. You must carry the brown table in your heart." The man says, "I will be a teacher for others. I will share the white pearls of kindness, the teacher says. That is the smartest thing a man can do. I will show them how to breathe. I will show them how to use small and sweet sentences. To teach is to learn twice. You are a leader now. The man stands up. He feels very tall. He feels very strong. He looks at the white paper on the table. He picks up the black pen. He writes one last sentence. I am a smart speaker, and I am a kind man. He puts the pen down. He looks at the teacher. He says, thank you for everything. You are a very special teacher. You gave me the gift of my own voice. The teacher stands up too. She takes the golden mirror and puts it in her bag. She says, I did not give you the voice. The voice was always there. I just helped you find the key to the door. You opened the door yourself. She walks to the man and gives him a small, warm handshake. The lesson is finished. The story is finished. The teacher walks to the door. She turns around and says, go speak to the world. They are waiting for your flowers. She leaves the room with a very gentle smile. The man stays in the quiet room for a few more minutes. He looks at the empty vase and the empty chairs. He feels the proud new feeling filling the whole room. He feels very ready. He feels very successful. He is a fast thinker. He is a smart speaker. He is a man of peace. He walks out of the room and into the bright, golden afternoon. He walks down the street and he sees a neighbor. He looks at the neighbor's eyes. He breathes in. He smiles a warm sun smile. He says, hello, my friend. It is a beautiful day. How can I help you? The neighbor smiles back. The man feels the proud new feeling in every word. He is speaking smart. He is thinking fast. He is living a good life. The sun sets behind the green trees, and the man walks home with a very peaceful and happy heart. Thank you very much for watching this video today. I am very happy that you are here to learn and listen with me. Learning a new language takes time, and you are doing a wonderful job. Every day you learn a little more, and every day your English grows stronger and better. If you enjoyed our gentle time together, please give this video a like, because it helps me very much. If you want to hear more slow and simple stories, please subscribe to my channel so we can learn together again. You can also share this video with your friends or your family who want to learn simple English too. It is a joy to share these quiet moments of learning with you, and I hope you have a beautiful, peaceful day ahead. Keep practicing, keep listening, and I will see you in the next video very soon.